Aliens can be scary, friendly, and even gross. But no aliens are funkier than ToeJam and Earl, a couple of guys who are about to get back in the groove this week with their first sequel in 17 years. To celebrate this long-awaited fourth installment, I wanted to take a look back at some of the duo's previous games. We've already covered the 1991 original, so it's time to shift perspectives and unearth the largely forgotten sequel from 1993. Turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the story and ending for ToeJam and Earl in Panic on Funkotron on the Sega Genesis. This is Game Over, the early years. So, listen up, because I got a story to unfurl about a couple of hip aliens named ToeJam and Earl. Wait, I think I was supposed to rap that. Guys, no, I'm not gonna rap. There's a lot of things I'm gonna do in these Game Over episodes, but I won't do that. Alright, where was I? Here we are. The funky aliens came back as heroes, but when the stowaway humans showed up, they were zeros. Oh, come on, stop that. I told you already, no rapping. Alright, let's see here. The script demands that you rap out the myth. So drop that fat beat and get it over with. Oh, for crying out loud. Yo, listen up, cause I got a situation to tell you about for your own edification. You probably know me and Earl took a side trip to a planet that collided with our spaceship. You may recall, we took a straight nosedive, check it out. You should never let Earl drive planet Earth, not a place you want to stay. So me and Earl made a high-speed getaway. We made it home to our home destination, where we had a highly funky celebration, but then we got into a slight complication. It wasn't healthy for our flight reputation. You know, the Earthlings, well, they caught a ride on a rocket ship hanging on the outside. Their visitation, it was kind of rude. Irritation of the first-class magnitude. Well, me and Earl can take a little heat, but we're sitting in a very hot seat. You get the picture, not a pretty situation, but check it out. It's another implication. So, the Funkopotamus announces his intention to hide his butt in the funk dimension because the Earthlings are so very crude, and by the way, he's taking all his funkitude. Get down, give it up, do your dance now, everybody. Everyone in Funkotron, to the rhythm with the hip-hop. And you know what? This isn't actually a rap. Let's stop the beat. I don't need to do the rest of this. I think we're good. Okay, so now that we're finally caught up, maybe we can focus on the actual story. Where the first game had you searching for hidden parts to your spaceship, this sequel had you going through 17 side-scrolling stages and ridding the planet Funkotron of every last human straggler. This essentially turns ToeJam and Earl 2 into an action game where the goal is to throw jars at the humans and then send them back to Earth where they belong. Much like the first game, there isn't much of a story here. It seems like it's really just a way to introduce a bunch of new characters into the mix. Something that's paid off with the ending. But before we roll the ending, let's meet a few of the colorful characters and see what they're all about. First up is Lester, who may or may not be the twin brother of Chester. Our funky heroes seem to be a little confused about whether these are actually two different guys or just one guy, since they're never in the same place at the same time. There's also Luanda, who clearly has a crush on either ToeJam or Earl, or both. And speaking of love stories, there's Balloona, who's pining for Peebo, a scared little alien who gets a bad case of the hiccups every time he's nervous. Smoot, on the other hand, is definitely not scared of anything. He's an over-the-top character who loves himself more than anything else. Flarney, on the other hand, is a two-headed alien who gets confused easily. And then there's Charla, an emotionally fragile character who is having a crisis of faith after the Funkopotamus has taken his funky beats and gone on what could be a permanent vacation. This is the crux of ToeJam and Earl in Panic on Funkotron. In order to make everything right, our alien heroes have decided to embark on a quest to not only get rid of every last Earthling, but also collect a bunch of the Funkopotamus's favorite items, including his eyeball collection, red sneakers, pickle, and favorite ceiling fan. The duo hopes that all this will bring the Funkopotamus out of hiding and put the funk back in Funkotron. Now, believe it or not, this takes a really long time to accomplish. I'm talking about like 5 or 6 hours, if not longer. The sequel is substantially longer than the original, and not because it has a whole lot more content. The truth is, this is an extremely repetitive game with levels that constantly repeat in the same few enemies over and over. Instead of wallowing in the monotony, let's just go ahead and skip right to the 17th stage, where we're capturing the final few humans. There's no boss or a climactic moment, the game just kind of transitions into a bunch of dialogue. And when I say a bunch, I mean like 15 minutes worth. Yeah, they cover a lot of ground in this ending, so here's what happens next.
Alright. Yeah. Alright. Alright.
Okay, you still with me? Yeah, that was a lot of reading. I apologize to everybody who just listens to these episodes, because that was just like 15 straight minutes of music. Anyway, this is quite an ending. Much like the original, this ending is almost entirely interactive. You can walk and jump around, even choosing to just ignore all your friends if you really want to. And boy, do your friends have a lot to say. This is one of those games where you check in with everybody to see how ToeJam and Earl helped to improve their lives. Some found love, others found courage, and I'm still a little confused about Lester and Chester. This ending suggests the people behind ToeJam and Earl were a lot more interested in creating great characters than creating a 2D platformer. That's not to take anything away from the unique premise and stage designs, but clearly the focus was on the characters. And the result is easily one of the longest 16-bit endings of all time. That counts for something, right? Hey, thanks for watching this week's episode of Game Over, The Early Years. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new episodes every Monday. Now here's the question I have for you. Are you excited for ToeJam and Earl Back in the Groove? It comes out this Friday, so now is the time to get hyped. By the way, the Funkotron rap at the beginning of this episode is literally in the instruction manual, so don't blame me if you hated it. Speaking of ToeJam and Earl, we have a review of Back in the Groove going live on Thursday. We also have a Sega-themed quiz going up on Friday, along with more Nintendo Power cover reviews. We have a packed week ahead of us, so I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.